Hello, in this tutorial we will walk you through the different steps of the ISRA identification process. ISRAs are delineated through a regional identification process. For that purpose, 13 regions have been identified around the world. Each of these regions will be evaluated through an individual ISRA identification process. The development of ISRAs is an evidence-driven, purely biocentric process. The ISRA identification process is composed of 4 stages. Stage 1 is the pre-workshop preparation stage. A few months before the event, workshop invitations are extended to regional members of the IUCN Species Survival Commission Shark Specialist Group, and non-members who have knowledge and expertise useful for the identification of ISRAs can assess the evidence and apply the ISRA criteria. Before each regional workshop, the ISRA team engage with regional experts to gather sources of information for consideration and assessment, and actively seeks to develop the ISRA Regional Inventory of Knowledge. An inventory of knowledge is a compilation of information that is available on species in the region. During this stage, workshop participants can review the inventory of knowledge available, and by applying the ISRA criteria, can propose preliminary areas of interest. A preliminary area of interest is an area proposed for consideration at a regional workshop and has the potential to become a candidate ISRA. Using the preliminary area of interest submission form, participants will submit to the ISRA team proposals within predetermined deadlines. Stage 2 is the regional workshop. During the workshop, participants working in sub-regional groups will review the preliminary areas of interest submissions to evaluate what information and evidence are available to support the application of the ISRA criteria. If there is enough available evidence to support the application of the criteria, the preliminary area of interest will become a candidate ISRA. A candidate ISRA is defined as an area that is important for sharks which has sufficient information to qualify against the ISRA criteria. Once a candidate ISRA has been agreed on, participants will refine its spatial boundaries according to scientific evidence. They will assess the possibility of merging any overlapping preliminary areas of interest into one single candidate ISRA submission. Any preliminary areas of interest that do not have enough supporting evidence will not advance to the candidate ISRA stage and will be classified as areas of interest and stored for future review. An area of interest has the potential to be assessed again in the future and become a candidate ISRA when more information is available. Stage 3 is the post-workshop independent review panel. After the regional workshop, each candidate ISRA is subject to peer review through the independent review panel comprised of regional shark experts who have not been involved in the regional workshop, but who have an in-depth understanding of sharks, shark habitats, and the ISRA criteria. The independent review panel will evaluate the robustness of the scientific evidence supporting each of the candidate ISRAs. If a candidate ISRA is supported by robust scientific evidence, it can then become an ISRA. If a candidate ISRA is not supported with strong enough evidence, it will remain a candidate ISRA or become an area of interest. Candidate ISRAs can be reviewed without needing to be submitted to a new workshop if the conditions that deem them insufficient have been addressed. In contrast, an area of interest can only be reviewed during the next regional workshop. Stage 4 is the publication of area information on the e-Atlas. During this stage, ISRAs will be published in an e-Atlas, making the geospatial data and information on the area publicly available. Areas that did not qualify as ISRAs, such as candidate ISRAs and areas of interest, will also be made available in the e-Atlas for public consultation. In summary, ISRAs are delineated through a regional identification process, including a regional workshop. Before the ISRA regional workshop, participants will identify preliminary areas of interest. During the ISRA workshop, the submitted preliminary areas of interest will be reviewed to assess the available evidence that supports the area becoming a candidate ISRA. After the workshop, the independent review panel will peer review the candidate ISRAs. Candidate ISRAs, supported by robust scientific basis that satisfies the ISRA criteria, will become ISRAs. Preliminary areas of interest that are not supported by sufficient evidence either become areas of interest or remain a candidate ISRA for future review. Information and spatial data on ISRAs, areas of interest and candidate ISRAs will be publicly available on the ISRA e-Atlas. Thank you for watching this video.